Welcome to the Growth Room. Today we're exploring one of the most influential books on wealth psychology, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. In this audiobook summary, you'll discover how your beliefs about money shape your financial future, why changing your mindset is the first step toward building wealth, and how adopting the habits of financially successful people can help you create lasting prosperity. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to accumulate wealth effortlessly while others, despite working incredibly hard, struggle to make ends meet? Is it education? Is it intelligence? Is it timing, connections, or just pure luck? According to author and financial trainer T. Harv Eker, the answer doesn't lie in external circumstances. It lies deep within your subconscious. This summary isn't just about financial mechanics like stocks, real estate, or budgeting. It is about the inner game of wealth. It explores how your mental conditioning determines your ultimate financial ceiling. Think of it as an educational and motivational exploration of wealth psychology, a completely fresh lens through which to view your financial habits and potential. Introduction: the man and the mindset. To understand the core message of this book, we first need to look at the man who formulated these ideas. T. Harv Eker wasn't born with a silver spoon. In fact, he experienced a string of business failures that left him frustrated, broke, and deeply confused about why his hard work wasn't paying off. He had the desire, the work ethic, and the technical knowledge, yet prosperity constantly slipped through his fingers. The turning point came when a wealthy friend of his father gave him a piece of advice that changed everything. The man told him, "Harv, if you're not doing as well as you'd like, all that means is there's something you don't know." He went on to explain that wealthy individuals tend to think in very similar ways, and those who struggle financially share a completely different set of thought patterns. This realization set Eker on a journey to study the psychology of money. He realized that our internal relationship with wealth is much like a thermostat. If your internal financial thermostat is set too low, any money you bring in will quickly be spent or lost, bringing you right back to your comfort zone. Eker applied this mindset shift to his own life, altered his internal programming, built a highly successful fitness retail chain, and eventually became a multimillionaire. His core philosophy is simple: your inner world creates your outer world. If you want to change the fruits, you must first change the roots. The concept of the financial blueprint. Let's dive into the foundational concept of the entire book, the financial blueprint. Eker introduces a powerful formula that explains how our reality is created. Thoughts, feelings, actions equals results. Every outcome in your life, including your bank account balance, is a result. But where do those results come from? They come from your actions. And what drives your actions? Your feelings. Finally, what triggers your feelings? Your thoughts. Here is the twist. Your thoughts don't just appear out of thin air. They are born from your past conditioning. Therefore, the complete formula looks like this. Programming thoughts, feelings, actions equals results. Your subconscious financial blueprint is simply your internal programming regarding money. It is the default setting you operate on without even realizing it. Imagine buying a brand new, top-of-the-line computer. It has the fastest processor, the best graphics card, and massive storage capability. But if you load it with outdated, glitchy software from decades ago, the computer will perform poorly. No matter how hard the hardware tries, it is limited by its programming. The exact same thing happens to humans. You can take all the business courses, read all the investment strategies, and possess an incredibly high IQ. But if your internal subconscious blueprint is programmed for financial struggle, you will likely sabotage your own success. This framework doesn't promise a guaranteed pot of gold. Rather, it offers a fresh perspective on why we make the financial choices we do and how we can consciously choose to think differently. Part 1. Deconstructing your money blueprint. To alter your programming, you must first understand how it was formed. From the moment we are born, our minds are bombarded with messages about money, wealth, and rich people. Eker explains that we are conditioned in 3 primary ways: verbal programming, modeling, and specific incidents. 1. Verbal programming. Think back to your childhood. What did you hear your parents, teachers, or community members say about money? Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are greedy. We can't afford that. Money can't buy happiness. You have to work yourself to the bone to make a living. When a child hears these phrases repeatedly, the subconscious mind records them as absolute truths. If you are conditioned to believe that money is the root of all evil, your subconscious will naturally try to keep you broke to ensure you remain a good person. You might unconsciously sabotage a promotion or overspend your paycheck just to rid yourself of this evil element. 2. Modeling. The second type of conditioning is modeling. How did your parents or guardians handle money when you were growing up? Were they spenders or savers? Were they shrewd investors or highly risk-averse? Did money flow smoothly in your household? Or was it a constant source of arguments and anxiety? As children, we learn almost everything by observation. We tend to duplicate our parents' financial habits exactly, or in some cases, we completely rebel against them out of frustration. For instance, if your parents constantly worried about debt, you might grow up to be incredibly anxious about spending even a single dollar, or you might swing to the opposite extreme, spending recklessly because you equate money with stress and want to avoid thinking about it altogether. 3. Specific incidents. The third layer of conditioning comes from specific, emotionally charged experiences around money. Imagine you were a child and you desperately wanted a toy. You asked your father, and he snapped at you in a moment of financial stress, shouting that he worked himself to death just to put food on the table. In that instant, your brain forged a permanent link. Money causes pain, anger, and division in relationships. These past experiences create deep emotional ruts. Understanding this link is the first step toward taking complete responsibility for your current financial landscape. It allows you to step out of the role of a passive victim of your upbringing and become the active author of your financial choices. In the modern landscape, this conditioning is amplified. Students encounter massive debt early on. Freelancers navigate unpredictable income streams, and software developers face rapid industry shifts. Without an adaptable, growth-oriented mindset, these modern challenges can trigger old, defensive financial programming. Shifting the internal blueprint. How do we actually change this deep-seated conditioning? Eker outlines a 4-step process for mental reprogramming that can help anyone build a healthier financial mindset. Awareness. You cannot change something unless you know it exists. The first step is to write down all the statements you heard about money as a child, the habits you observe in your parents, and any emotional events that shaped your view of wealth. Understanding. Look at that list and analyze how those factors have directly influenced your current financial life. Recognize that these beliefs are merely recorded data from the past. They are not your identity. Disassociation. Realize that these thought patterns were integrated into your mind from the outside world. They are distinct from who you are today. You have the power in the present moment to choose to keep them or let them go. Reconditioning. This involves consciously adopting new, empowering perspectives. Instead of viewing money as a scarce resource wrapped in stress, you can view it as a neutral tool that amplifies your ability to create value, support your family, and contribute to your community. By actively working through this process, you stop reacting based on old, survival-based habits. You start responding to opportunities with clarity, discipline, and a willingness to learn. This psychological reset forms the foundation for the specific wealth mindsets Eker calls the wealth files, which contrast how financially successful individuals and those who struggle view the world. Let's step right into part 2 of our exploration into the psychology of wealth. Now that we have disassembled the concept of the financial blueprint and understood how childhood conditioning dictates our monetary reality, it's time to look at the exact thought patterns that separate those who achieve financial abundance from those who consistently struggle. Eker calls these mental files the wealth files. Think of your brain as a massive digital filing cabinet. Whenever you have to make a financial decision, whether it's negotiating a salary, investing in a side business, or choosing how to spend your weekend, you unconsciously go to your filing cabinet, pull out a folder, and act according to whatever is written inside. If your cabinet is filled with folders that view wealth as dangerous, stressful, or out of reach, you will make choices that keep you broke. In this section, we're going to open up the filing cabinet of the wealthy mind and examine the specific mindsets that drive sustainable financial success. Wealth File 1. Creating your life versus life happening to you. The first and most fundamental difference in mindset is how we view personal agency. Financially successful people operate under the belief that I create my life. Conversely, those who struggle financially often adopt the perspective that life happens to me. This is the ultimate divide between taking absolute accountability and becoming a professional victim. When you operate from victim mindset, you rely on three classic coping mechanisms that quietly drain your personal power. Blaming. You blame the economy, the government, the stock market, your employer, your parents, or your partner for your financial shortcomings. It is always someone else's fault. Justifying. You justify your situation by saying things like, money isn't really that important to me anyway. Eker challenges this directly. If you said your partner wasn't important to you, would they stay with you? Absolutely not. The same applies to money. It is an incredibly powerful tool for the things it can do, and pretending it doesn't matter is a form of rationalization. Complaining. Complaining is one of the absolute worst things you can do for your focus and mental energy. What you focus on expands. When you complain, you're actively scanning your environment for problems, failures, and negatives, effectively magnetizing more of those elements into your life. When you step out of the victim role and realize that you are the one sitting in the driver's seat of your financial vehicle, everything changes. If you're a content creator struggling to grow an audience, or a freelancer facing a drought in clients, a victim blames algorithms and unfair market competition. An accountable person asks, how can I improve my skills, create more compelling value, and market myself better? Accountability gives you the power to change your trajectory. Blame surrenders that power to someone else. Wealth File 2 and 3. Playing to win and focusing on opportunities. The second wealth file focuses on intent. Financially successful individuals play the money game to win. Those who struggle financially play the money game, not to lose. There is an enormous psychological difference between playing for victory and playing for survival. In sports, if a team stays purely on the defensive, just trying to prevent the opponent from scoring, what are the chances they will win the game? Almost zero. At best, they might secure a dull tie. Yet, this is exactly how the vast majority of people manage their finances. Their primary goal is security, comfort, and survival. They want to pay the bills on time and keep their heads above water. While financial safety nets are crucial, if your ultimate ceiling is just enough to get by, your mind will never look for creative ways to expand your income, launch a business, or invest wisely. You will stay trapped in a loop of low-risk, low-reward decisions. This leads directly into the third wealth file. Rich people focus on opportunities, while others focus on obstacles. Let's look at a modern example. Suppose a software developer notices a massive wave of AI-driven career changes sweeping through the tech sector. The obstacle-focused mind panics. They think, AI is going to take my job. The market is saturated. There's no point in trying anymore. They freeze up and do nothing. The opportunity-focused mind acknowledges the shift but pivots. They think, wow, businesses are going to need engineers who know how to integrate these AI systems. If I upskill right now, I can position myself as a highly paid consultant, where one person sees a threat, the other sees an open door. Financially successful individuals don't ignore risks. They manage them, prepare for them, and then quickly shift their focus toward where the growth is. They understand that action beats inaction every single time. Wealth File 4 and 5. Thinking big and admiring success. Are you willing to play a big game? Or are you keeping yourself small out of fear? Eker's fourth file states that rich people think big, while others think small. Your income is directly proportional to the value you deliver to the marketplace and the number of people you impact. If you run a small local bakery and only serve 20 customers a day, your financial ceiling is mathematically capped. But if you figure out how to package your recipes, launch an online baking academy, or scale your operations to reach thousands of people, your revenue potential expands dramatically. Thinking small is often a mask for a deep-seated fear of failure or a feeling of unworthiness. People worry that if they try to build something substantial, they will be judged, stressed, or exposed. But thinking big isn't about greed. It's about fully utilizing your talents to solve problems for as many human beings as possible. To think big, however, you have to fix how you view those who have already achieved great heights. This brings us to the fifth wealth file. Rich people admire other rich and successful people, whereas those who struggle often resent them. Have you ever looked at a luxury car or a massive mansion and thought, must be nice, they probably cheated people to get that? Or look at those greedy capitalists? This hidden resentment is a massive mental roadblock. Your subconscious mind will never allow you to become the very thing you despise. If you look at wealthy people with jealousy, cynicism, or judgment, you are programming your brain to avoid wealth so that you don't become one of those people. If you want to create true prosperity, you must learn to bless what you want. When you see someone who is highly successful, healthy, and prosperous, celebrate them. Study their discipline, emulate their focus, and view them as living proof of what is possible. Wealth File 6 and 7. Promotion and being bigger than your problems. The next two files deal with visibility and resilience. File 6 tells us that rich people are completely willing to promote themselves and their value, while others often view promotion and sales negatively. In modern society, many of us were raised to believe that tooting your own horn is rude or arrogant. We think that if we just do good work, the world will magically find us and reward us. Unfortunately, that is not how the modern marketplace operates. You could have the most life-changing product, the most efficient software tool, or the most brilliant freelance skill set in the world. But if nobody knows you exist, your business will fail. Financially successful people are passionate advocates for what they offer. They promote their value because they genuinely believe that their product or service can solve a problem or improve someone's life. If you truly believe that what you have can help people, it is your responsibility to let them know about it. Finally, File 7 highlights our reaction to adversity. Rich people are bigger than their problems, while others allow their problems to look bigger than them. The road to financial independence is not a smooth, paved highway. It is full of potholes, detours, and unexpected roadblocks like inflation, consumer debt, or market downturns. The secret to success is not to try and run away from your problems or complain about them. The secret is to grow yourself so that you are bigger than any problem that comes your way. Imagine a scale of personal growth from 1 to 10, where 1 is completely helpless and 10 is unstoppable. If you're a level 3 person facing a level 5 problem, that problem looks massive, overwhelming, and impossible to solve. But if you commit to continuous learning, build your mental discipline, and grow into a level 9 person, that exact same level 5 problem suddenly looks small, manageable, and easy to handle. Financially successful people are excellent problem solvers. They don't stall out when things get tough. They focus on finding creative solutions and moving forward. We are stepping straight into the next set of Eker's wealth files, uncovering the mental scripts that govern our financial behavior. So far, we have looked at how taking absolute responsibility, focusing on opportunities, thinking big, and welcoming challenges can completely reshape our financial outlook. Now, let's explore how financially successful individuals approach compensation, manage their assets, handle fear, and commit to personal evolution. Wealth File 8, Results versus Time. One of the most profound paradigm shifts in the entire book is found in how we choose to be compensated for our energy and labor. Eker points out that rich people choose to be paid based on results, while others choose to be paid based on time. Think about the standard employment model. Most people prefer a steady hourly wage or a fixed monthly salary. There is absolutely nothing wrong with a stable paycheck. It provides comfort, security, and predictability. However, the hidden trade-off of being paid strictly for your time is that your income is automatically capped. No matter how brilliant, efficient, or dedicated you are, there are only 24 hours in a day. If your earnings are tied directly to your physical hours, you have placed a mathematical ceiling on your wealth. Financially successful individuals prefer to bet on themselves. They choose to be paid based on the value they produce, the efficiency of their systems, or the results of their ventures. This includes commissions, profit sharing, equity, stock options, or owning a business where revenue is driven by product sales rather than hours clocked. Consider a modern freelance graphic designer or copywriter. The time-focused freelancer charges an hourly rate. If they get faster and better at their job, completing a project in 2 hours instead of 10, they're actually penalized with less pay for being more efficient. The results-focused freelancer charges a flat value-based fee for the project. They say, this marketing asset will help your business generate more leads, and my fee is fixed based on that value. If they complete it in 2 hours using their advanced skills, their hourly leverage skyrockets. By shifting your mindset toward results, you unlock the power of scalability. You move from the mindset of a standard worker to the mindset of an owner or investor. Wealth File 9 and 10. Managing money and making money work for you. The next 2 files represent the practical backbone of long-term prosperity, administration, and leverage. File 9 states that rich people manage their money well, while others often mismanage their money. There's a common misconception that goes like this. Once I make a lot of money, I'll start managing it. Eker argues that this is completely backward. It's like an overweight person saying, once I lose 20 pounds, I'll start exercising and tracking my calories. The universe operates on a simple rule of order. Until you show that you can handle what you currently have, you won't receive anymore. Financial discipline isn't about restricting your freedom. It is about creating ultimate freedom. Managing your money effectively ensures that your expenses never swallow your income, protecting you from the trap of lifestyle inflation, the habit of spending more the moment you earn more. It doesn't matter if you're managing $100 or $100,000. The habit of organizing your cash flow is infinitely more important than the amount. This leads directly into File 10. Rich people make their money work hard for them, while others work hard for their money. Most of us were conditioned with the idea that the only way to earn an income is to trade physical sweat and mental exhaustion for a paycheck. While hard work is a crucial starting point, it should never be the end game. Financially successful people view every single dollar as an employee or a seed. Their goal is to plant that seed into productive investments, such as stocks, bonds, real estate, automated businesses, or cash-flowing digital assets, so that it sprouts into more money. The goal is to transition from active labor to passive income leverage, where your accumulated investments generate enough returns to cover your lifestyle costs. This is the very definition of financial independence. You no longer work because you have to survive. You work because you choose to create value. Wealth File 11 and 12. Acting despite fear and continuous growth. The final files in this section address the psychological barriers of fear and stagnation. File 11 reminds us that rich people act despite fear, while others allow fear to stop them. Fear, doubt, and worry are natural human emotions. They are hardwired into our biology to protect us from danger. However, in the modern world, these survival mechanisms often manifest as financial paralysis. People are terrified of losing money, terrified of making mistakes, terrified of failing, or even terrified of succeeding and then losing it all. The difference between those who achieve financial freedom and those who stay stuck is not the absence of fear. It is the willingness to take action anyway. True courage is not being fearless. It is feeling the anxiety, calculating the risks, and moving forward regardless. If you only do what is easy, comfortable, and safe, your life will remain intensely difficult. But if you are willing to do what is difficult, making that sales call, investing in your upskilling, launching that side business, your life becomes much more abundant. Finally, File 12 states that rich people constantly learn and grow, while others think they already know. The most dangerous phrase in the human language is, "I already know that." The moment you stop learning is the moment your financial growth begins to atrophy. In our rapidly evolving economy, marked by AI-driven career changes, shifting global markets, and continuous technological disruptions. Clinging to old knowledge is a recipe for irrelevance. Professionals, content creators, and entrepreneurs who thrive are those who maintain an insatiable thirst for personal development. They invest their time and capital into books, seminars, mentorship, and skills development. They realize that the most valuable asset they will ever own is their own mind. When you increase your internal capacity, your external financial results naturally expand to match. We are stepping directly into part 3 and part 4 of our transformation journey, transitioning from the foundational wealth files into the world of building wealth habits and cultivating a sustainable success mindset. We have established that our internal financial blueprint sets our ultimate financial potential. But how do we translate those newly formed beliefs into daily physical reality? The answer lies in our routine behaviors. Your wealth is not built by a single massive, lucky event. It is accumulated through the compounding effect of minor daily actions, steadfast financial discipline, and a resilient psychological framework. Part 3, Building Wealth Habits and Practical Money Management. Let's demystify what it actually takes to manage capital effectively in the modern world. In an era dominated by instant gratification, relentless social media comparison, and a lack of formal financial education, building robust wealth habits is an act of radical self-control. Eker emphasizes that managing money is a skill that anyone can learn, regardless of their current income level. 1. Intentional savings and avoiding lifestyle inflation. The first major wealth habit is the commitment to save consistently. Most people treat savings as an afterthought. They receive their income, pay all their bills, spend money on leisure, and then save whatever crumbs happen to be left over at the end of the month. Often, that number is 0. Financially successful individuals flip this script entirely through the concept of paying yourself first. The moment cash enters your account, a predetermined percentage is automatically diverted into your savings and investment vehicles before a single utility bill or grocery item is paid for. This habit is the ultimate defense against lifestyle inflation. It is a natural human tendency to expand our expenses to meet our growing income. When a software developer gets a major promotion or a content creator lands a lucrative brand deal, the immediate temptation is to buy a flashier car, move into a more expensive apartment, or upgrade their wardrobe. While enjoying your hard work is important, letting your expenses rise in perfect lockstep with your income keeps you trapped on a financial hamster wheel. By maintaining a stable, disciplined lifestyle while your income grows, you widen the gap between what you earn and what you spend. And that gap is where your true wealth is born. 2. Strategic asset allocation. Eker famously advocates for a structured system of money management to organize your cash flow into specific, purposeful buckets. Even if you start with just a few dollars, separating your money into distinct accounts builds the neurological habit of financial discipline. Let's look at a modern adaptation of this allocation framework. The financial freedom bucket. A dedicated percentage of your income, ideally 10%, goes strictly into investments, assets, and passive income streams. This money is never, under any circumstance, spent on lifestyle costs. It is your ultimate wealth engine. The long-term savings bucket. This fund is reserved for future large expenses, emergency funds to buffer against inflation or career disruptions and major life cycle events. The education and skill development bucket. Investing in yourself is the highest yielding investment you can ever make. This money is set aside for books, courses, industry certifications, or attending seminars that increase your marketplace value. The necessities bucket. This covers your essential living expenses: rent, food, insurance, taxes, and basic utilities. The goal is to optimize this category so it doesn't consume your entire income. The play bucket. Eker introduces a brilliant psychological tool, a dedicated percentage of your money meant to be spent entirely on pampering yourself, enjoying fine dining, or experiencing luxury. Why? Because your spirit needs to feel nurtured and abundant. If you restrict yourself constantly, Your inner rebel will eventually sabotage your entire financial plan. Part 4. Forging an unstoppable success mindset. Now that we have the mechanical framework of budgeting and saving in place, let's address the psychological stamina required to sustain it, the success mindset. Financial independence is a marathon, not a sprint. Along the way, you will encounter setbacks, market downturns, and personal failures. Your ability to navigate these challenges depends entirely on your mental resilience. 1. Shifting from positive thinking to powerful thinking. Eker makes a crucial distinction between standard positive thinking and what he calls powerful thinking. Positive thinking can sometimes border on delusion or passive wishing. It asserts that everything is going to turn out perfectly, and I'm going to be rich just by visualizing it. While optimism is great, passive wishing can lead to inaction. Powerful thinking, on the other hand, is grounded in reality and accountability. It recognizes that while a situation might be incredibly difficult right now, such as dealing with consumer debt or navigating an industry shift, you possess the intelligence, adaptability, and work ethic to learn new skills, pivot your strategy, and change the outcome. Powerful thinking doesn't ignore the problem. It emphasizes your capacity to solve it. 2. Confidence, persistence, and the growth mindset. True confidence doesn't come from knowing you will always succeed. It comes from knowing you will survive if you fail. When an entrepreneur launches a side business, there's a distinct mathematical chance it might not succeed on the first try. A fixed mindset views this failure as a permanent label. I'm just not cut out for business. A growth mindset views it as valuable data. This particular strategy didn't work. What can I learn from this feedback to make my next iteration better? Persistence is the willingness to stay the course when the initial excitement fades. It is the grit to track your expenses when it feels tedious, to invest consistently when the market looks volatile, and to keep upgrading your skills when results aren't immediately visible. By pairing unwavering accountability with continuous personal development, you transform yourself into an individual who is structurally bigger than any financial obstacle. We have journeyed deep into the psychology of wealth, unmasked the hidden scripts of our subconscious money blueprints, analyzed the specific thought patterns of the world's most successful individuals, and built a solid blueprint for practical money management. Now it's time to bring all these pieces together into an actionable strategy you can start using today. Part 5 and 6, the Ultimate Millionaire Mind Framework Recap. What makes Secrets of the Millionaire Mind unique is its relentless focus on the inner landscape. It reminds us that financial strategies, market trends, and technical skills are completely useless if your internal thermostat is programmed for scarcity. Let's summarize the core pillars of the Millionaire Mind framework that we have explored. Rewrite the blueprint. Recognize your childhood verbal programming, parental modeling, and emotional incidents. Actively choose to discard limiting beliefs and replace them with empowering truths. Take complete ownership. Step out of the victim mindset. Stop blaming external factors, justifying financial mediocrity, and complaining. Operate from the deep conviction that you create your life. Focus on value and scale. Play the money game to win. Commit to thinking big, delivering massive value to the marketplace, and focusing on opportunities rather than obstacles. Optimize your energy. Admire and learn from successful people rather than resenting them. Promote your value with passion and conviction, and grow yourself to be bigger than any financial hurdle. Master financial infrastructure. Treat every single dollar as an asset to be managed, not just currency to be spent. Use strategic asset allocation to pay yourself first. Fund your personal growth, protect your peace of mind, and let your capital compound. As we close this summary, remember that building a millionaire mind is an ongoing process of personal transformation. It is about choosing growth over comfort, action over fear, and accountability over convenience. You possess the intelligence, the adaptability, and the capacity to entirely reshape your financial future. The tools are in your hands. Now it's time to build. Thank you so much for joining us today in the Growth Room. If this summary brought you value and gave you a fresh perspective on your relationship with wealth, please hit that like button. It truly helps the channel grow and reach more people seeking financial freedom. If you want to keep upgrading your mindset and exploring life-changing books, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We want to build a true learning community here, and that starts with your voice. I would love to hear your thoughts, so please leave a meaningful comment below. Tell us, what was your biggest money mindset shift from this book? Which wealth principle are you going to apply first in your own life? What book should we summarize next on the channel? I read and reply to your comments because your insights help everyone in this community grow together. If you have a friend, family member, or colleague who is working hard but needs that mental shift to unlock their next level, please share this video with them. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep mastering your inner game. We'll see you in the next video